look like there's a problem for Trump. Trump tried to block asylum seekers. Well, a federal judge just said Trump can't do this. He must accept the asylum seekers. So this is going to get real interesting. A federal judge on Monday ordered the Trump administration to resume accepting asylum claims from migrants, no matter where or how they enter the United States, dealing at least a temporary setback to the president's attempt to clamp down on a huge wave of Central Americans crossing the border. Judge John Teager of the United States District Court in San Francisco issued a temporary restraining order that blocks the government from carrying out a new rule that denies protections to people who enter the country illegally. The order, which suspends the rule until the case is decided by the court, applies nationally. Whatever the scope of the president's authority, he may not rewrite the immigration laws to impose a condition that Congress has expressly forbidden, Mr. Teager wrote in his order. As a caravan of several thousand people journeyed towards the southwest border, Trump signed a proclamation on November 9th that banned migrants from applying for asylum if they failed to make the request at a legal checkpoint. Only those who enter the country through a port of entry would be eligible, he said, invoking national security powers to protect the integrity of the U.S. borders. Well, look like Trump's attempt to stop these people from getting asylum has failed. So according to this judge, they will be able to go into the United States no matter what entry. It doesn't matter if they go through a tunnel, a hole, whatever. They can claim asylum. See, Trump tried to make this proclamation and send the military there ahead and do all this stuff, and this judge is blocking him. He has been blocked. Within days, the administration submitted a rule to the Federal Register, letting it go into effect immediately and without the customary period for public comment. But the rule overhauled long-standing asylum laws that ensure people fleeing persecution can seek safety in the United States regardless of how they entered the country. Advocacy groups, including the Southern Poverty Law Center and the American Civil Liberty Union, swiftly sued the administration for effectively introducing what they deemed an asylum ban. After the judge ruling on Monday, Lee Gerlent, the ACLU attorney who argued the case, said, the court made clear the administration does not have the power to override Congress and that absent judicial intervention, real harm will occur. This is a critical step in fighting back against Trump's war on asylum seekers, Melissa Crow, senior supervising attorney for the Southern Poverty Law Center, one of the other organizations that brought the case, said in a statement, while the new rule purports to to facilitate orderly process of asylum seekers at port of entry. Customs and Border Protection has a longstanding policy and practice of turning back individuals who do exactly what the rule prescribes. These practices are clearly unlawful and cannot stand. There was no immediate comment from the Trump administration. Presidents have broad discretion on immigration matters, but the court ruling shows that such discretion has limits. Okay. So I guess this is another L for the Trump administration, because his attempt to limit their asylum has failed, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and this is a federal court ruling, which means it overrules any proclamation that came for Trump. In fact, his proclamation is now officially quashed. So he did it all for nothing. You know, this is very telling, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go back and look at the troops. If the troops start leaving before these migrants reach the border, then you know they're going to get asylum. They're going to make it in. I'm serious, y'all. You know, this is just one part of it. Now, we know Trump did a military buildup. I'm going to see if those troops are still there or they're being sent home ahead of these migrants reaching the border, because that will make a difference. Okay? And if the migrants reach that border and the military start coming home simultaneously, you know they're all going to make it in. Right now, they can get asylum no matter how they come in this country. It doesn't matter. They can request asylum. So the Trump administration believes the migrants are exploiting asylum laws to immigrate illegally to the United States. Soaring arrivals have exacerbated a huge backlog of pending cases in the immigration courts, which recently broke the 1 millionth mark. Many migrants skip. See, this is why some of y'all were asking, how can they file a lawsuit? They're not even citizens. Technically, they can. They can file a lawsuit. But see, what they do is they file the lawsuit, ladies and gentlemen, as a stall tactic. What happens is sometimes it takes a year or even longer for their case to come up, and they just disappear in the country. They don't go to court, because the ones that do make a court appearance, they get deported. And many of them have caught on to that now. So they don't go and they file the lawsuit as a stall tactic to make sure, they can stay in the country as long as the court case did not come up. So if your case don't come up for 2 years or 3 years, then you're free to be in the country for the next 2-3 years. By the time the case comes up, they disappear in the country, got a whole new identity, and they're not going to find them. That's the purpose in the lawsuit. Okay, let me get back to this. Okay, so the immigrants have court cases that are over the 1 million mark. So there's a lot of cases that are pending, and they can't get to these cases right away. Many migrants skip their court dates only to remain illegally in the country, which Trump derides as catch and release. Okay, they really don't care about the court date. They just file a lawsuit as a stall tactic, ladies and gentlemen. It gives them enough time to disappear in the country and not get caught. And by then, they're in a sanctuary city, or county or sanctuary state somewhere. But advocates argue that many immigrants are victims of violence or prosecution. Now, ladies and gentlemen, isn't the Black community victims of violence and persecution here in America? Aren't we those same kind of victims? And where's our sanctuary cities, towns, and states? They act like the only one that's a victim of crime. We are the victim of violence from this government. This government lets their cops come out on the street and kill us unarmed. So we are also victims of violence and persecution. Where's our sanctuary? These migrants got more protection than we ever will have in America. Never forget that. When they're sitting here, the media is putting this shit out, telling you these folks are victims of violence and persecution and entitled to seek sanctuary. Aren't we victims of those things? But yet, like, ladies and gentlemen, we're not entitled to sanctuary, though. We're left out here as sitting ducks, while courts and police officers all violate our rights. So, you know what this says? They got more damn rights than we do. People that are not citizens of America get more protection under the law than we do. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you have to stop supporting Black politicians that are supporting immigration. And I'm dead serious. Or if the politicians in your state support immigrations, y'all got to get them out of office. You got to stop voting for them. Now, you know, I know many of you will say, don't vote, don't vote. I get it, but you're not going to get the masses to not vote. I mean, let's be real. Those of us that don't vote, we're small in comparison to those that do vote. Gangs are ubiquitous across El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala, where lawlessness and corruption enable them to kill with impunity. Aren't we killed with impunity? I mean, these folks act like these things aren't even happening in America. Cops can walk up right now and blow your brains out. And I promise you, they're not going to go to jail. You could be unarmed, drug-free, weapon-free, no threat whatsoever, and they will still kill you and go home to their family. And go sign up and join another police force. We've seen that multiple times. But ladies and gentlemen, that is our fault. When these killer cops take one of us out and they don't get in trouble and they get to go to another police department, we can do something about that. But we don't. I mean, look, you saw what happened in the case of Tamir Rice. But see, Tamir Rice's mother was on code, and she came right out in that media and let the people know that cop will not be on any other police force. I have to give that sister a lot of credit. I have not seen any of these other families do that. So that sister, I commend her. It should have been every victim family should be on the bullhorn when these cops get hired by another police department. Nobody should be silent about that. And we need to get Betty Shelby's ass out of there. We need to be raising a lot of hell over that. Find out that police department's phone number and call them unrelentlessly and make life pure hell for them. That's what we got to do. We don't let these people go to another police department after killing one of ours and they're comfortable. No, they should never be comfortable anywhere. in the public. So we are at fault for that, for not putting our foot down and not taking this shit. But as you can see, lawlessness is done to us every day. And the courts are rigged up to let any damn body go that kills us. Oh, of course, except for if it's another black person. Yeah, that's the only time they really want to enforce a damn law. But there is no way these immigrants should have more protection than us. But as you can see, it's happening. But ladies and gentlemen, if this court made this ruling, these illegals are all going to make it in. They're going to all make it in. Do I like it? Hell no, I don't think it's right. But they're going to all make it in. Let me check something, y'all. I'm not ending this video like this. Hold on, I got to pause this. Ladies and gentlemen, just like I suspected, Trump has already started withdrawing the troops from the border. You know what this is, ladies and gentlemen? This was nothing but about politics. He put those troops there to make it look like he was doing something about the caravan for midterms. He did this for the goddamn midterms, y'all. Don't you believe anything else? Trump ready to begin drawdown of troops at U.S.-Mexico border. Now, why would you talk about drawing them down ahead of the caravan reaching the border? Every last one of those migrants are going to make it in here, ladies and gentlemen. This was done only as a political move. The whole thing, the proclamation to limit asylums, that was all about winning the midterms. It was all about winning the midterms. Trump is poised to start withdrawing troops from the U.S.-Mexico border as early as this week. This week, y'all, according to a report that prompted instant criticism that their deployment was a political stunt. And as you can see, it was. Why would he be withdrawing the troops this week and the caravan has not reached the border yet? Now, Trump supporters are dumb, but I don't expect the rest of you to be as dumb as they are. They're stupid. We know this. They got the brains of a gnat and claim they got a high IQ. There's nothing you can do about that. They're dumb for life. The U.S. president spent the final weeks of the midterm election campaign whipping up fears of a migrant caravan traveling through Mexico towards the border. He sent around 5,900 troops to prevent the invasion, but once polls close, talk far less about the issue. Yep, he sure did. As soon as the election is over, Trump hasn't raised this issue since. On Monday, the Politico website reported that the Pentagon is planning to begin a drawdown of troops. Again, why would they draw down troops and the caravan has not reached the border yet? Yeah, look what our 3 hour a day work week guy did. Trump only works 3 hours a day, and you can tell. You can tell he works 3 hours a day. Army Lieutenant General Jeffrey Buchanan, overseeing the mission, said the first troops will start heading home in the coming days. So they will be heading home, ladies and gentlemen, this week. This week. Some are already unneeded, having completed the mission they were sent for, Politico reported. Well, what mission? The returning service members include engineering and logistics units, whose job included placing, okay, so barbed wire. Okay, so what? So what? You think they're not going to get around that? They're going to get around around all that barbed wire. Buchanan, based in Texas, added that the active duty troops sent to assist Customs and Border Protection at the border should be home by Christmas. So they're going to start the first wave of them going back home, deploying these troops for them to come back home. Trump decision to deploy troops at the border provoked a fierce backlash from commentators who regarded it as a blatant use of military for electoral gain, and that's what he did. These troops are coming home, ladies and gentlemen, as early as this week. And the last few that were deployed at the border will be home by December 15th. Our end date right now is December 15th. This was all about politics for the midterm election. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for the next Trump political stunt for the next round of elections. Okay, midterms are over. So he'll kick up some more dirt in order to try to win an election. But that's all this was about. He don't give a damn about these people coming in here and getting asylum and getting protection. They're coming, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready. These migrants will be in this country, every last one of them traveling to the border. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I will see you on the next video. Peace, family.